Alright guys, so this is going to be an all over the place type video. So if you guys aren't down for that, don't worry about it. But we're going to do pretty much, I'm going to go over some updates. We got some updates with this thing. Unfortunately, I'm going to film some of the stuff on separately, but unfortunately, we're missing the clip for the transmission. And I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. I can go up to Peggy, the second gen, that Josh is going to tell me to part out if we don't get this trans. And I'm like, yeah, I have one up there. So I checked the door and I'm like, that one seemed to have gone missing too. Dude, I checked the stones all around it and whatnot, so whatever. What we're gonna do tonight is I have a bunch of maintenance. I am gonna try to get a little bit more of the list done on this truck here. You guys see the little bit of light that's coming in. But I'm gonna try to get more done on that truck. I'm gonna stand like this because the light's better. And obviously gonna do that in a separate video, but I would like to get the exhaust manifold and the gaskets and oil change done on the welder as well, because we will be using that. But your boy got himself on Amazon and ordered a bunch of these. Now, keep in mind, every time I order on Amazon, I do kind of get a little disappointed in things. And when I pulled these out of here, I was like, oh man, that kind of looks like it sucks. And then I plugged them in and good fuck. Now, what I was worried about was that each one of them has their own little thing. My worry was that, do I have to turn every individual one of these off? Well, I don't. Luckily, you turn off one, and every one of them after turn off. So I'm gonna try, I'm not gonna be able to do it tonight, but I would like to get somebody in here to like hang those fuckers up somewhere and start running along that. But we do have lights, and I did get the question, why don't I go to Home Depot or Lowe's? You're not gonna find these lights at Home Depot or Lowe's for what I spend on them. Also, the other problem is that takes time out of my day, and I really don't have time out of my day to do that. Unfortunately, during the day, while we don't have the other vehicle, Mr. Mom over here, and then during night, Cummins Whisperer. So I'm gonna try to get as much done as I physically can tonight. We're pretty much gonna be here all night. So I'd like to get everything done on this thing that I physically can, and then do a separate video on all of that, because I would like to do the trans in that same video. If possible, I'm gonna go hit up Fisher's tomorrow and see if we can't get that little clip. We also need to get that little coolant pipe. So without further ado, let's start fucking with these lights for one and see if I can't get a little bit more light in here first. I'm just gonna like string them along and just try to get some light in here. I know I have a ladder somewhere, but I'm gonna do what I can. All right, so I don't have the time to do this all properly right now, but I've been telling you guys I'm gonna get lights forever. So I finally just said fuck it and threw all the lights on the wall and just streamed them over. Now, check this out. This is how I did it here. You basically, this will turn that section off. This one here will turn that section off. And then there's no outlets on this side of the shop at all. And then this one will turn all of these off. Now, I did ponder, and I did set them up a little bit. Check this out, the whole row, boom. So we got 3 switches plus the 2, and I did ponder it. I had them up and down. There was a couple that I did up and down, like right there, I had up and down. But I didn't like that, and I'm like, I can expand these out further. So I basically took up the entire wall. And now we can see, like you can see the truck, we have light under there. Check this out. I'm gonna crawl under this thing real quick. And it's not a lot of light, right? It's still nothing like my dad's shop. But I can go under the truck. I'm under here and you guys can still see me. Let me turn that light off. You can still see the clutch. Like, that's awesome. Now, granted, these lights only cost me 200 bucks. And I'm gonna order $200 more next time I go out and come back. But that's where we're at. So next step, I'm gonna get the welder done. Like I said, I'm gonna be here all night, so we have plenty of time. I think I can get everything done on that truck tonight that is not the transmission. And then tomorrow, we'll go get the part for that. All right, so we got everything off. And there's that little bolt there. This side looks a little ugly. This side not too bad. I think from all the water and moisture. So as we run this thing without it, wow, that sucks. Caught me right there on the on the edge. Yeah, once we stop filling this thing with water, when that valve is open, it just fills the cylinder. I tried getting my vice grips in there. It doesn't quite get to it. There is that piece in the way. I'm not willing to take this whole thing off because then I need a new gasket. So I gotta figure out what. Alright, muffler is on, and unfortunately she's fucked. So that bolt's not coming out, and that bolt started spinning tight, so we have two tight bolts. I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna run this thing until she blows up, and then we'll just get a new motor for it. There's a company up the street that does these, so I can either get this motor rebuilt and have them helicoil all of that, or whatever, throw bigger bolts in, it doesn't matter to me, but I'm just gonna run it until she blows up because this thing's been great, whatever. So I'm gonna do an oil change quick, which the oil drain is right there. And they told me this thing takes about 2 quarts. So we're gonna put in oil capacity, about 1.5 quarts. Oh, cool, without filter change. So we'll leave the filter on, it's gonna be about 1.5 because I already changed the filter. So 1.5 quarts. We'll see if any water comes. This is like the slowest drain out I've ever seen. Like, I was wondering if there was any oil in it to begin with. I'll let it go until she stops. I took the cap off, not knowing if that was gonna make a difference or not, but there is a dipstick. Looks like it might have been full, but I don't know. I'm gonna grab a rag and, well, I don't know. Might have been making oil because of all the water, but I don't know. Guess we'll see. You guys saw it on there. It was definitely over full. Do not overfill. It's definitely over full, and I checked it before and it was right on the money. So she's definitely making some water, making some oil somewhere. Probably getting past the rings. Come on, this takes for fucking ever. All right, oil change is done. Hopefully this thing never fills up with water again. I guess we'll see what happens, but now that those gaskets are done, as long as they don't blow out again, we'll be fine. If they do blow out again, I'm just gonna have this thing gone over, probably take it to somebody, but in the meantime, we're just gonna let it go. Shouldn't be too much to get it checked out one of these days, but in the meantime, I really don't wanna do that. So let it make its money and move on to the next. All right, so we're about at that 12,500 mile mark. So what we're gonna do, let's change the oil. I even got the new pump, nozzle, whatever you want to call it, in. Let's start saving these bags. And then 2.5 gallons of mobile Delvac. So also broke, I got a new dipstick, but I broke that. I need to swap that out. But we're gonna change this guy out real quick. And the new fender flares came. I did already test fit them, and they kind of fit like shit. So we'll see how it goes. I know it ain't much, but had to take this whole line off so we could put the new swivel fitting on. You lose a little bit of diesel. It is what it is. I'm gonna throw that, grab my little thing of Teflon right here, throw this bad Larry on. All right, made a little bit of a mess, but it is what it is. Move that over. When that was off, I accidentally hit the lever and it turned the pump on and just started pissing. Luckily, there's not much in here, so it didn't really throw much. I think actually the tank is empty because I'm not going on a trip for a while, but for what it is, I think I got like 1,500 miles my last tank, but it's nice to finally, after all these years, have a green handle that actually shuts off when you get it. So I went back to using Mobil 1 stuff. Mobil Delvac, Mobil 1 filter. I gotta do that. It's weird. Mobil 1 even says do not pre-fill. Damn it, I was gonna do that. I'm so glad there's a warning label on there that tells me not to do it. This stuff, recommended from my dad. I've been using it for a long time now because of him. Genuinely smells like root beer. Just be careful with this stuff here. You don't want this stuff getting in your engine. That stuff will clog an oil squirter and give you problems, and Don't do that. Also why you don't pre-fill your filters too. This stuff can get into the filter and you gotta be careful with that. Shit looks black. Dump the whole thing in. New dipstick installed. It is a little bit longer, so I'm gonna have to check the level. I think right about when it sits right about here is where it's full, so I just kind of like poked it the whole way down in. Don't break these things, seriously, it's annoying to get that thing out. You had to use like a wood screw. I tried with a self-tapper. It made the first hole, but if you ever get that stuck, throw one of these in there. So next thing, get these fender flares on because I'm tired of getting pulled over. So I did order these fender flares from Amazon, all right? Not a big deal, they had decent ratings and whatnot, but they fit like absolute dog shit. So you see the little points there? So if you get it to line up in the back, it's low on the front. So you switch them. I'm like, okay, whatever, maybe they're directional. Try the other side. Perfect in the front, low in the back. They had good ratings. They had really good ratings. But somebody, see those are supposed to line up with each other. You can see how much longer the front is. So kind of sucks because I really wanted to just get these things installed because I'm tired of looking at that because some retard thought that was a good idea. So that's how I got on the fit. Right there. Look at this gap. Like you gotta really push that fucker in. I don't know, I'm gonna do what I can, I guess. We shall see if I'm able to cover that up, but look how bad that is back there. I'm gonna try to switch them. I'm gonna try the other one and see if I can't get rid of that gap. So if you do that, that one's actually even worse. That's awful. Yeah, I'm just gonna decide against it. I'm gonna try and get my money back because that's crazy. They're shit, not worth my time. I'm not gonna sit here and spend 5 hours to try to get these things to fit mediocre. No matter how I do it, they're just not gonna work. It fit better the other way, and even then, it was definitely a fight. So, I mean, I didn't spend a ton of money on them. They were like 120 bucks. But again, if something has good ratings, you'd think that it'd be fine. It is not.